We're talking the Illinois Fighting Illini today here on Sharpen the Point. 2024, 10-3 record. Really nice to get those double-digit wins for Brett Bielema in his coming into his fifth season now. Kept both of his coordinators, Barry Lunney and Aaron Henry. Look forward to seeing how they continue to develop this roster. Quarterback Luke Altmaier enters his third season as the starter for the Illini after showing improvement a year ago. He threw for just over 2,700 yards, 22 touchdowns. He continues to get better each season that he's out there. His most notable gains were definitely in his decision-making. He dropped his interception total from 10 to 6 and increased in all statistical categories otherwise, which was a vast improvement for him. He provides a sneaky rushing capability when the lanes are available, along with a quality arm behind him. If there is one thing I would like to see him improve upon more, it's really his pocket awareness. He just continues to take too many sacks. He's had over 30 in each of the past two seasons. And given the slower run-based nature of the offense, those negative plays can be very difficult to overcome with the weapons that they've had on the outside. His backup, Donovan Leary, barely played a year ago, and he's going to be replaced by Northern Illinois transfer Ethan Hampton, who they hope plays a similar number of snaps and barely sees the field as well. Running back-wise, early last season, it was really the Caden Fagan show, which was to be expected with Josh McCray and Aiden Lafferty spelling him. However, in Week 5, things really changed when Fagan went down for the season, forcing McCray and Lafferty into a two-man committee, which they continued throughout the end of the year. They performed well in tandem, but McCray now goes to Georgia, hunting after a title after getting 10 touchdowns in that limited capacity. He really was the thunder to Lafferty's lightning. Fagan, for his part, the man is simply a refrigerator with appendages at this point. He's 6'3", 250. He's just massive. It's like William the Refrigerator Perry hearkening back there. He should return to the top spot, but it's really going to depend how he recovers from that hip injury as to what role he will have. Lafferty should remain a part of the rotation as well. He's likely going to pick up more of the slack early in the season, in my opinion, as Fagan really rounds into form off of the injury. The name to watch in the backfield for me is Khalil Valentine. He got his feet wet last season as a true freshman. He's going to expand upon that role now with the opening in the backfield as the third spot, getting ready really for a feature back spot role in years to come. He can make you miss in a phone booth. He's got exceptional explosiveness out of his breaks. I think he's going to be a very quality player for a couple seasons here. Pass catching wise, they're surrounded by a ton of returning talent and production, but really the wide receiver room is going to need some fresh faces to step up and contribute right away. Pat Bryant was great for them. Zachary Franklin, they combined for over 60% of the receiving yards and touchdowns last season, and now with both gone, it leaves a massive hole to be filled. Hudson Clement, he's going to come in from West Virginia. He was brought in immediately to fill an outside role left by Bryant and Franklin. He's going to provide a solid, steady target for Altmaier. We kind of know what he is. He was a former walk-on at West Virginia. He worked his tail off to work his way into the top spot there, and he can really win at all levels. Hank Beatty, meanwhile, he's going to return after being the third leading receiver. Last season, he's going to operate out of the slot. I expect his touches to come up a little bit. But Colin Dixon will push Beatty in that slot role as a bigger, more physical player. The question is who gets that other outside role. Many, I think, are going to look towards Malik Elzy with his pedigree as a former four-star prospect who's really been in the system, and they hope will step up and show consistent hands. I have issues with guys who have hand issues. They typically don't get that much better, but Elzy needs to spend some time on a jugs machine, certainly, after practice. Personally, for me, I think it's going to be Justin Bowick, who comes over from Ball State. He not only can step into that starting spot, but I think he can overtake Clement as the top target. Last season, Bowick only played 4 games to preserve his red shirt, as he had some off and on injury issues. But in those 4 games on an awful passing team with Ball State, he averaged a line of 5 catches for 96 yards and had 3 touchdowns in those 4 games. He nearly led the team in receiving for the season in 4 games. So he's going to be the guy I look to end up being the number 1. He's a big target on the outside. Offensive line-wise, this line, any line under Brett Bielema has been great, whether it was Wisconsin, Arkansas, or Illinois. They've always been an area of strength for a Bielema team. This unit really wasn't up to those levels last season. They struggled to get lanes and clearly in pass protection with all those sacks given up. But now it is a experienced group with 4 of those 5 starters returning. And you could argue that Brandon Henderson is an upgrade on Zy Chrysler at right guard, who is the only thing they're really switching over. Left tackle J.C. Davis, he's one of the best tackles in the country, so he's going to be a real road grader on that side of the line and protecting the blind side for Altmaier. They did manage to bring in some depth to push the starting group from the portal, and I really do expect we see a much better performance out of this group this season. Along the defensive line, although they did not get to the quarterback a ton, they were able to keep quarterbacks contained in the pocket, and this unit was really stout against the run. It held up well to let the linebackers roam free a year ago, and now they're going to replace all 3 starters up front, and Dennis Briggs, Tara Edwards, and Ezekiel Holmes are all gone now. They did add 2 Wisconsin Badgers in James Thompson and Kurt Neal to go with Tomiwa Durajayi from Florida State, and all 3 of those are really going to contribute immediately given what they lost. Thompson was a big draft prospect heading into last season before he tore his pec and missed it entirely. So he's going to be looking to rebuild. He's a really good player in the 5 technique with his length and athleticism. And overall, because this is a 3-4, it's a beefy unit that you really can expect to hold up well, even if they aren't making the flashiest plays in the backfield. They're going to hold up and let the linebackers go free. Linebacker-wise, they lose Seth Coleman and Ryan Mead. It was really a deep room that played well last season, but the heart and soul of the unit really remains. Dylan Rozic and Gabe Jackus provide the foundation for the continuance of the defense's success. Jackus, he led the team in sacks with 8. He's in an emergent season. He really broke out last year, and I think he's going to build on that and start pushing for that 10 sack. He should be in the top 5 in the conference in sacks this season. Transfer Leon Lowry from Wisconsin as well. They loved that defense and brought him in. Will likely jump into a role right away. And then looking at the secondary was a really young group heading into last year. They performed admirably given the pass rush that they were dealing with. Better yet, though, they returned the bulk of the rotation, which is a huge benefit for these guys. They play better as a unit overall than they are skilled individually, with safeties Matthew Bailey, Miles Scott, and Xavier Scott being joined by cornerbacks Caleb Patterson and Torrey Cox. Bailey, he came on really strong late in the year, added a ton of value covering the tight ends, and the room, that's especially important given the context of the Big Ten and how they like to use the tight end position. And the room really has experience and is very deep, which is the reason why it really is in the top third of the conference of a unit. Looking at the schedule and outlook this season, the Duke and Indiana games early in the season are really going to tell us if they can make a playoff push. They have not won 8+ games in back-to-back seasons since 1990. So that's going to be a really important thing for Brett Bielema to be able to accomplish this season, to show that he's kind of able to continue that stability that he's being able to provide. The goal for me to this team is to make the playoff, and they are highly capable of it. The offense is rich with experience outside of the wide receiver position, but they should be able to produce. And the defense is arguably better than the offense, given what they added to replace the losses and how good that secondary is going to be. Schedule-wise, Western Illinois, easy win right out the gate. Get your feet wet, get back in the groove of things. At Duke, I think this is a tough game. I lean win. They're an experienced unit here. Duke is going to be breaking in Darian Mensah at quarterback. Manny Diaz usually is going to have some tough defense, so it's going to have to be on Altmaier to figure that out. But Altmaier is so experienced that I think he can handle the business there. Western Michigan, nice win. At Indiana, I think this is a coin flip. This is a home game for Indiana, and both teams really need this win. This is a make or break it thing. I don't know who takes this game down. It's going to be interesting, but I'm really interested to see how that game plays out. That's going to be one of those key to the season games. We're going in a fork in the road for the Illini. USC, I lean a win. It's at home. USC struggled on the road last season. It's going to be a tighter game. I think USC's a little bit improved, but you need to win that game. At Purdue, easy win. Ohio State at home, you can push them, but I think that's a loss. I think Ohio State's just going to be too talented, even with all of what they lose. At Washington, coming off of that Ohio State game, it's a tough spot. It's a trap game on the road. It's a full coin flip for me. And then you finish out with a nice soft landing. Rutgers, win. Maryland, win. At Wisconsin, win. Northwestern at home, win. That's a lovely finish with a nice 4-game stretch that you should easily win all 4 games. If Bielema's going to get this team to the playoff, then this is the year he needs to capitalize on. An experienced roster and a schedule that is much more favorable than it could be, given that Oregon's not on it, Penn State not on it. If they win less than 8 games, it would be a massive disappointment to me. But the expectation should be a 10 or 11 win season, with the only likely loss being to Ohio State. I wouldn't be shocked if they dropped one more. Personally, welcome to the playoffs, Bert.